Hello everybody, it's Terry here, and this is the beginning fingerpicking workshop. If you've been wanting to add some detail to your songs and your chord progressions and want to learn that fantastic fingerpicking sound, some people call it Travis picking, some people call it alternating thumb picking, other people call it just plain fingerpicking or just plain old good time, then this is the place for you. We are going to go over some very, very simple beginning basic patterns and learn a couple of things like the thing that I just played, the blues. This is a really fun thing to learn. It's a very challenging thing to learn, but if you do it in small steps, then it makes it much easier, particularly if you start out with a mono bass instead of the alternating bass, and then it makes it much easier. What you're trying to do ultimately is you're trying to play with three hands. Now the piano players have it easy because they can use this hand for the bass and play the bass pattern over there, and then they can do the chords and rhythms with this hand. But on a guitar, it's not so easy. On a guitar, you've got to play the bass with your thumb, the bass line with your thumb, and then you've got to separate that from part of your hand from this part of your hand. So this is going to play the bass. This part of your hand is going to play the chords and the melodies, and then this hand is going to play the chords and the fills and the notes. So the thing that hooked me into it originally, decades ago, was the sound of it. I just loved the sound of it. There was a song called Alice's Restaurant, and I couldn't stand not being able to play it. I just had to be able to play that song. And so I started learning very simply the easier things, and as it got more complicated, I got better at it over the years. You're very lucky to be doing this now because there's YouTube, and it makes it much easier to see and to learn because you can hear it. When I learned it, I was learning it out of books, and it was difficult because I heard the tapes, but I couldn't seem to connect them with the notes. And so let's get started. So what fingerpicking can do for you is it can fancy up all kinds of chord progressions, and it can add all kind of detail and all kind of melodies. If you're just playing something very simple like a C and a G, an F, and a C, that would be the strumming pattern. But if you add a simple fingerpicking pattern, it's going to sound now. Those are all down notes, and we'll get into that in the more advanced version when you start picking the up notes. But then it would sound like this. That's really the key, is the up notes. That's what gives it like a ragtime, kind of a happy, fun feel, like a Scott Joplin kind of feel, is when you hit those ba-da, ba-da, the up notes, and down, up, down, 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 as opposed to just down, 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 and down. Now there's many forms of fingerpicking. The more complicated stuff that you're probably used to hearing is the stuff where you're playing an alternating bass. So you're playing multiple strings on the bass with just your thumb. And that kind of stuff is very fun. It can sound like this. Very fun, very beautiful, really cool melodies. Or there's another one like this. This one's one of the easier ones to start out with, believe it or not. Or even was it Doc Watson had a really famous finger picking song that a lot of people hear, and it goes. And so that can be inspiration for you when you master this technique. It adds a lot to songwriting because you can add a lot more complexities to your chord progressions. There's two forms of finger picking that we're going to go over. The first is what is called mono bass. So if we're going to go in the key of E, and we're just going to play the E string only. Doc Watson always jokes that he did this for a couple of years before he started adding other notes. And so we're going to start on E, and we're just going to be playing that mono bass. And then we're going to start adding down notes in with our other fingers. Now this is the very, very, very beginning. So if this is about as easy as it can possibly get if you're just very first starting out. And I'll play it very slow because I remember how hard it was to play. So we're going to start by plucking the E string, and then we're just going to play. There's an E and a B, an open E string and an open B string, and then on the G string we're playing the third of the E, which is the A flat. So we're going to try it like that. Just one note to begin. Now we'll do a couple notes. Now really slow, it's going to sound like this. Now the fun thing about fingerpicking is you can play that pattern any way you want. So you can play it with just those three notes or other notes. We're already making a song here. So now if you can reach way down, you can hit this E root. Okay, so that's the very, very start. Now when that's going to take some practice. When we're going to move from that, we're only hitting that E, that low E string, as the bass with our thumb. Now when we move over to the 4, which is the A chord, in this case we're going to do an A7. We're only going to hit that A note for the root. That will denote that it's the 4. Like that. This is how the Piedmont blues starts. It's just so cool. Reverend Gary Davis, Blind Blake. And then when we go to the 5 chord, which is the B7, which is 2nd fret A string, 1st fret D string, 2nd fret on the G string, and then put the pinky up on the E string on the 2nd fret, and we're going to hold it there. Okay, so now then we're going to start adding the extra little notes. So the whole progression is going to sound like this. so that's the very beginning. We'll do that one really slow. So good for you if you made it through that. That is excellent. That is the very beginning. You may notice that every once in a while I slip and accidentally do an alternating bass with my thumb because I'm so used to doing the more complicated pattern that it's hard to stop even once you get going. Okay, so now if you play it a little bit faster. So now we can start adding different notes. And you can change the notes around. If you're on the B, we can take that pinky off and make melodies out of those notes. On the A, you can do the 1 to the 7. The most popular one is the 7th note up here, and you can do. So that's 3rd fret E, 2nd fret E, and open. Now you can also slide this bar here into the A, and then you can put your pinky up here on the 5th fret of the E string. And then back to the 3rd fret. Sounds cool. Okay, so now we can also add sliding parts. So we can add sliding rhythm parts. Now this is the thing that you've heard the blues guys do. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a sliding rhythm part that goes. Whoa, hang on, what? Wait, that's too advanced. No, it's not, because we've got the mono bass going. So we're going to slide the first 2 fingers. We're going to slide from the G string 3rd fret and B string 2nd fret up to the 4th fret of the G and the 3rd fret of the B string. This is the bottom of the 7th chord of the E. E major is here, and if we flat the 1 a whole step, E major is the D shape, but it's actually, when you move it up here, it's E major. And we're going to flat that 1 note, and it becomes that beautiful 7, 7, 7. Oh yeah. So we could take top piece, but we're going to take the bottom piece, and then we're going to do it a couple of times. Then we're going to put it back down to the piece of the A, which is going to be the G and B strings on the 2nd fret, and we're going to squeeze it. And then we're going to hit a hammer on the 1st fret of the G, back to the E. So we're already making a blues. Got them all learning the finger picking blues. it up a whole, move those up a whole step. And you can experiment with where to move those pieces. In this case, we're going to move from the 3rd and 4th fret on the G and B string up to the 6th and 5th frets on the G and B strings, respectively. You can throw in the whole chord if you want. Let's try this chord. Kind of doesn't sound right for some reason. Now we're going to switch to the 4. We're going to add the 7th note and the D and on the E string, and then the open. What are we going to do? We're going to walk up to the B, which is always a cool move. On the A string, if you go open, 1st fret, 2nd fret, play that B7. Keeping that bass going up, mono bass. And then back to the A, slide into the A. Right back to the E. Whew, all right, that's our first mono bass finger picking blues. Now let's see what else we got. You got a little space over here. All right, so we got a little spot over here on the E. You're doing E minor-ish or E minor pentatonic. There's a spot here where the pentatonic comes to on the E string, on the B string, the 8th fret, on the E string, the 7th fret, and you're gonna hit it. But what makes it really toot like a locomotive is you're going to bend that your middle finger there. About, is it a quarter step or a half step? There is not. It's just how much you feel it. And that's a really cool sounding riff there. Got your 7th here. Now back to this one. That's the same as over here. If you're going to do a walk down. So it's the in this version over here, it's the 2. You're taking 2 fingers on the G string and the E string, and you're sliding up to the 4th fret, the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, hammer on to the E. Same thing up here, but it's 9th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret, 6th and 5th fret. Now we got the blues going, learning the finger picking blues. Oh, there's a couple pieces there. So there's this piece here. You can hit this piece up here, which is going to be a pentatonic piece. So that's going to be the 2nd fret on the B and the 3rd fret on the E string. Back to what we got. Up to the B. Now on the B, we can use these notes here. We can use the same one. We can. This kind of hurts on the pinky, but you can use on the E string. So you've got that mono bass going, and you can do the E string, the 3rd fret, the 2nd fret, open, and then the B string on the 2nd fret or the 3rd fret. Let's see. Whichever you want to do, it gives it a more minor sound. I like that. All right. That is the Fingerpicking Blues. And as always, I need you to help me out here. If you like the content, please share it. Share it with your friends and all of your music-loving friends. And please subscribe. I am trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers so that we can have a cool thing where I go live and do things live. I can give lessons live and give performances live. And that'll be really fun. I'm going to bring some friends in. We're going to play live on the air on YouTube. So please like and subscribe and spread it around and help me out.